Computer Apps friends, we are going to start Excel 2, and this is going to be your introductory lesson video to help you get acquainted with Excel 2. This is critically important if you are not here the day that I go over this stuff, but also important if you're struggling at all with this stuff, because that's the reason these videos are here, is to help you out. So, here we go. You're going to have the introductory lesson. We're going to need to download the starter file. When you do, and you click on it, it's going to open up. And it's going to open up in the online version of Excel. Don't worry about signing in or anything because we don't want to save it from here. What you're going to do is you're going to go to File and you're going to go to Save As and you're going to download a copy to your Excel 2 folder. Okay, now I made an intro folder for mine. I've clearly done this about 1,000,000 times. Start. I'm going to add one more time on here. Yay. So anyway, once you save that, now it's saved and we don't need the online Excel anymore. Okay, so I'm going to move these instructions to the other screen and then I'm going to get into regular Excel. So you're going to open up your regular Excel, go to your OneDrive, get in there and find this file. Okay, so here it is. Start one more time again. Going to open that up and of course make sure that it's logged in. If you're having any questions at the top saying it needs to save or whatever, then save it. If you need to add another word on there or something like me, go for it. But basically here's what we've got. So let me get this sized so we can see it better on here. And then we're going to go through Excel 2. Excel 2 is really easy. I mean, I thought the other Excel was pretty easy too, but this one is as well. So in here, we've got 3 worksheets. I'm going to have to scoot over here so you can see them all. Code pricing list, patient 1 and patient 2. So kind of dig through those so you can see what all that we have. And then we're going to go to patient 1. And this is old Bobby Smith here. So Bobby Smith is patient 1. And we're going to go up here and enter your name in cell C22. So C22. You're going to type your name in here. And press enter to enter it. Instruction 2, we're going to merge and center the range A3 to F3. So that's here where Computer Apps Hospital is. Be sure you're in column A when you start this selection. Okay? Don't double click in the cell. Just click and drag. Just whip through there. Okay? A3 to F3. We're going to use the merge and center button here. Now this is, of course, is used to merge and center at the same time. Now if we didn't want to merge and center at the same time, you have the option to just plain old merge cells. And you can also unmerge them. So if you change your mind, you've got that option. You cannot do more than one row at a time, but you can go down. So like if I wanted to say this was going to be August and I wanted it to take up these 3 boxes, I could merge down like that. And then I could even hit these buttons here to change where that is. Okay. Now you're not doing that. That was bonus information. I'm going to undo. Okay. So A3 to F3, we're going to merge and center. We're going to do the same thing, A4 to F4, merge and center. So usually you do this with like titles over the top of data, which is our point here on this one. Now we're going to apply the note cell style. So we're on the cell here, which is A4. In the middle on the Home tab where it says Styles, click on the More Styles button, and you can see all the different styles. In the Data and Model section, there's one called Note. It's yellow. That's the one that we're going to use. All right, next it says apply horizontal centering to the contents of the range A7 to F7. So we're going to drag our mouse over A7 to F7, just whoosh, right across, and we're going to center those horizontally. That just means the normal plain old center. Hit the button. All right, good. We're centered now over the top of all those. Next, we're going to go to C20. That's where the date 12/20/2020 is. We're going to change the date format. We've looked at this before on our Home tab in the Number group. You'll notice there's a drop down and it's got General, Number, Currency, Short Date, Long Date, but the one we want is not on there. So if the one you want's not on there, go all the way to the bottom to More Number Formats. That's going to bring up a dialog box, and if you click Date at the left and scroll through here, you're going to see lots of different ones. The one that we want is going to be the one that's day-month-year. So mine says 14-Mar-12. You're going to hit OK there, and then yours will now say 20-Dick-20. All right, number 6, copy the formatting of the merged cell in range A3 to F4. So that means I'm going to click A3 to F4, so like this whole little section here that we did, and we're going to hit copy. All right, now pay attention because you'll completely mess this up if you just go paste. So I'm going to hit copy. Now we're going to go to patient 2. In that same area, A3 to F4, I'm going to highlight that. Now we're going to paste, but we're not going to paste. We're not going to do a normal paste. If we did a normal paste, it would put that over there. And this actually has different words in that second row. What we're going to do is click on the drop down of paste, and you have different options. All we want is to paste the formatting. Now you could go through here and try to figure out which one of these is formatting. I'm not even sure which one because I never go to these. But what you're going to do is go to paste special all the way at the bottom. And then notice here it says, what do you want to paste? Well, I want to paste the format. Okay, so that's what I'm clicking, formats, and hit OK. And bam, it pasted the formats, but it did not change the words. So the words stayed the same. So we did not replace the contents, just the formatting. Okay, number 7, return to the patient 1 worksheet in the range D8 to D19. So D8 to D19. We're going to apply the number accounting format, but no decimal places. So if you come up to the drop down, mine's already on accounting, but I need to change my decimal places. You can do this 2 ways. You can go all the way down to more, and then under accounting, when it says decimal places, just go ahead and knock that down to 0. Or right here are these little buttons, and you can increase your decimals and decrease your decimals. It's kind of like the increase and decrease indent buttons that we had in Word, only these are decimals. Okay, so we have accounting with no decimals. We're good. 8, merge cells A1 to B1. Don't center. Okay, so A1 and B1. I'm collecting both of those, but we're going to come down and just merge them. We're not going to center them. Okay, and then same thing to A2 to B2. And you can right click to get to certain things, but merge is not on the quick one. So it's just easier to go ahead and go up here and go to merge cells. All right, so now see how those are all one actual cell for each one of those. The next thing we're going to do is add a border around all those cells using the all borders option. So I'm going to grab a hold of invoice number, the number of the patient, and Bobby Smith, and I'm going to come up and click the drop down arrow on the borders and shading on the borders button, and then we're going to choose all borders. And what that does is it puts some lines around those. Kind of hard to see, but there's some lines there. Okay, number 9 in cell F8. So let's go to F8 first off. We're going to use a formula. Okay, formulas are like math problems. There's not words, okay? So formula starts with an equal sign. I'm going to go ahead and put that in there. It says use a formula to multiply the unit cost by the quantity. Well, where's my unit cost? D8. And where's my quantity? E8. But I have to multiply, so I have to put the star in, the asterisk, and then I can type in or click E8. So it's equals D8 times E8. And I'm going to hit enter. That's going to give me 1970, which is correct. Now I'm going to use the fill handle, and we're going to fill down. Now watch what's going to happen though. Notice how we have these every other row is gray. That's called banded rows. Well, if we take a hold of our fill handle, that's right there on the corner. It's like a little plus sign, and you're going to click and drag. Don't go to this box, just above that box. So down to F19. If I click and drag and let go, and you can't really see it, so I'm going to click off of it. See what happened? Because it also took the formatting. Well, we don't want it to do that. We want to leave that formatting. We want to leave the gray on there. So we're going to use the Paste Options button. And notice we have a choice that says Fill without changing the formatting. That's what we're going to do. I want to click on Fill without formatting. And now if we click off of it, bam, there we go. That looks better. Now we have our little gray places on there. All right, next number, let's see, continued on that, it says, after we fill without formatting, format the accounting number format with no decimals. So we're going to take all of these again. We're going back to accounting and no decimals. So if you want to use this button, you can, or you could go into the other. All right, so there we go. Now notice there's little dashes here, and that's because there's a formula that goes all the way down on these. And because there's a formula, it just puts little dashes in. Okay. Next one, in cell F20. So we're going to go to that box, F20, and we're going to use the Autosum button to add up the total. And that's all of these little boxes here. So Autosum is on our Home tab in the editing group. We're adding them up. So when you add, you're finding the sum. So click sum. And then automatically it puts in a formula. Let's look up here in the formula bar. Equals sum, and then in parentheses, a range of numbers. That's a beginning and an end with a colon in between. So where are those numbers? And it is right. It chose F8 to F19, which is correct. If it's good, just press enter to accept the suggestion. And if it won't go, click up in your formula box and then hit enter from up there, and that will work. So you should get 5968. That's correct. We're going to apply a cell style. So up in your styles group, we're going to choose the one called neutral, which is kind of a goldy one, in F20. All right, now we're going to use the Format Painter, which we have used before, I believe, in Word. The Format Painter is on the Home tab in the Clipboard group. And we're going to copy the formatting so that instead of doing the whole copy and paste thing, we're going to use the Format Painter to paint the format. So first off, we're going to copy the formatting from A1 to C2. That's this right here, where we merged the cells and stuff. We're going to copy that formatting by using the Format Painter. Then we're going to click on Patient 2, and notice our mouse is a paintbrush. So I'm going to paintbrush over A1 to C2, that exact same shape, and let go. And notice it automatically merged those cells for us, and it added those borders. Okay, awesome. Now we're on 11B. Copy the formatting, so I'm going to go back to Patient 1, from cell C20. So C20, that's that date one that we did. I'm going to hit my Format Painter, pop back over to Patient 2. We're going to click on that date. And bam, it copied the format of the date, so we didn't have to go in there and set it again. All right, 11C. Copy the formatting from the range. Let's go back. From the range, A7, so that's where the item is, A7 to F19. So that's all those rows with the gray and white. We're going to hit the Format Painter. Then we're going to go over to Patient 2. We're basically going to go right over that same area. Start with A7 and go to F19. Now remember, we're using the Format Painter, so it's just going to paint the format. It's going to leave our numbers alone and our words alone. All right, let go. Notice these are centered at the top. Now we've got dollar signs for that accounting format, and everything is set. Okay, beautiful. If we click off of it, we can see our little lines. All right, number 12. Copy the formulas in the Patient 1 worksheets. Let's go back to Patient 1. F8 to F19. So that's here where our formulas are. We're just going to hit copy. We're going to go over to Patient 2. And we're going to come in here. And this time, we only want to paste the formulas. So I'm going to click on my drop-down arrow. And if you look carefully, you can see there's like paste values, paste formulas. See the one that says FX? That's my formulas. I'm going to click that one. And there we go. It puts the formulas in. And they are doing the right thing. Like, for instance, if I come down, look, 123 times 1 is 123. And 107 times 4 is 428. If you double-click one of these numbers, you'll see it's equals D14 times E14. We can see it. Now I press Escape because I don't want to mess up my formula. And now we're ready to move on. All right. It does say, if necessary, set this to accounting format with no decimals. And if it's necessary, auto-fit. But my numbers are all showing up, and everything fits well. So I'm good. But if yours isn't, then fix that real quick. All right, number 13, in the Patient 2 worksheet, so we're still on Patient 2, in cell F20, where the box is, use the Autosum button, so again up here under Editing, and add up the total for this day. So we're adding up those numbers. To add, we use sum. It should sum those above, and it is F8 to F19. I'm just going to press Enter to accept it. And if it doesn't go, go ahead and hit enter up in the formula bar. All right, 3361 is good. And then we're going to apply the good cell format. So up here under styles, I'm going to choose the one that says good. So you'll have a nice green 3361. And there is a picture right now on the handout of what this should look like on this Patient 2 worksheet. So hopefully you've taken a look, but if you're looking at mine and you match me, we are good to go. So we are done with the first page. All right, the second page is going to have us go to the Code Pricing List worksheet. This one's kind of hard to see. I'm going to zoom up a little bit just so that we can see better. All right, so in here, we are going to use the Autosum button to add the count function in G5. So I'm going to click in G5, and I'm going to click on my Autosum. But we're counting, so I'm going to hit my drop-down arrow and choose Count Numbers. what that's going to do is put in a equals, count, and then parentheses. All I have to do is click between the open and closing parentheses and type in the range where my numbers are. And guys, this is a long one, so you're not going to want to highlight it. So the range is D5 to D999. That goes way down there, okay? So you type that in and just press enter, and you should get 972. That's correct. The next instruction is to basically use the Autosum button in the next box, so G6, to find the average price. So same thing, drop down arrow, but this time we're looking for the average price. It's going to put it in there. It's trying to put a number in those parentheses. That's not what we want. We want that big long range again. So I'm going to backspace that out up in the formula bar and type it in, D5 colon D999. And then hit enter, and you should get 665.40. So that's the correct average. All right, next up, we're going to use the Highlight Cells Rules Conditional Formatting. And we need to select D5 to D999. That's a really long way to select. So let's use the name box up here because we can type that in. I'm going to type D5 colon D999 and just press enter. It's going to highlight all those for me. Bam, look at that. So now they're all selected. So now up here on our home tab in the middle, we're going to go to Conditional Formatting. And we want to do a Highlight Cells rule. And we're going to say basically any numbers over here that are over 900, we want those numbers to turn red. Okay? So I'm going to go to Highlight Cells greater than, and when the box comes up, I'm going to type in 900. And then on the drop down, we're going to choose that first one, light red fill with dark red text. If you look to the side, you should see all the ones that are over 900 are in red, and hit OK. And that's conditional formatting. If I was to change that number to be a different number, like if I type 5 in here and hit enter, the red goes away. Okay? And everything updates over here. I'm going to undo that though, because we don't want to do that. Okay. Next. 18 says format cell A1. So we're up here at the top in the corner. We're going to format this one for the title cell style. So we've been into styles several times already this lesson. Go to styles, click the more styles button, and click on title. And that's going to pop that in there. Then we're going to merge and center from A1 to G1. So all the way across there, merge and center. Got it? Now we just have some more styles. Hopefully you're getting good at those. Format the range A3 to F3, so to details. Let's go back up to styles. This one we're going to make heading 2. It's got a little underline on it. Okay. And then one more, G5 to G6. That's where the 972 and the 665 are. We're going to go to this one and we're going to set it to total cell style. So go down here in the titles and headings. It's on the right. It puts lines above it and stuff. And there we go. All right, total. Next, number 21 says change the tab color of the worksheet to green. So down here where it says code pricing list, we're going to right click the tab and just go to tab color and then come to your standard colors and choose green. And see now it's green down here. That's kind of handy if you have a worksheet or a workbook that has a ton of worksheets and there's a certain one you use a lot, but maybe not the one you want it to open to every day. You can make it a color and make it easier to find. All right, for row 3 on the code pricing list worksheet. So let's go up to row 3 and select these words. For this row, we're going to rotate the contents to 15 degrees. So there is a button on the alignment group that says orientation. Click on that. Now, if you hit these, it's going to go like 45 degrees or 90 degrees. Well, that's not what we want. So go all the way to the bottom to format cell alignment. When this comes up, you can drag this little bar to 15 degrees. Or you could type it in and then hit OK. There you go. Now your little words should be sideways a little bit. Then we're going to go back up to G5 to G6. And we're going to change the indent. So you can't press tab when you're in cells, as we know, because it would take you to the next cell. But you can indent the text or the words in the cell by going to the alignment group. And you got to hit the alignment settings button, the little pull-out menu. And that same place where we did the rotation, there's a button in the middle where it says indent. We're going to set that to 2 and then hit OK. And notice that now those things are scooted off of the edge of that. Okay. Next, auto fit column F and G. So I'm just going to come up. This is from our last lesson. Double click up here to make sure all of those fit nicely. There we go. We can see everything well. All right, number 25 says change the theme of the workbook. That's under page layout. It's the same place we would go to set a page break or add a background image or set the scale to fit or the page orientation and margins. It's just at the far left, themes. And these are not in alphabetical order, so it's up here towards the top, WISP. We're going to use the WISP theme. Now notice when I do that, it changes the font over there on mine, and it might on yours. It just depends on your zoom level. So notice that mine didn't fit right away, but it did fix itself. So now the fonts are a little bit different, and the color is a little bit different as well. So yours should look like this. So do a double check, make sure that you see the right ones that are red, that all of this other stuff is rotated, you have the right numbers in the boxes, and then we're going to continue on. We're almost done. Number 26, we're going to use find and replace, and we used this in Word. Let's go back to the Home tab. Find and replace is over there on the far right-hand side. Find and select. You can press Control F just like in Word, but you don't get the little pane that shows up at the left. All right, and then on here it's like find or replace. We want to replace. It says find what? We're going to find FB, capital F, capital B. We're going to replace it. So FB, by the way, in medical terms stands for foreign body, like if they have to remove a marble out of your nose or whatever. So in the replace with, we're going to type FOR space body for foreign body. Okay? Click on find all, and it should find 18 of those. It'll tell you it found 18, and then click replace all, and it will replace all of those. And then it says all done, we did 18, and you'll say okay, and then you'll close. And then if you look, it should stop at one of those. Mine says for body removal cornea. So that means, you know, getting something out of your eyeball. Okay. We did the find and replace. Now we're going to get this set up as if we were going to print it. I'm going to press Control Home and go back up to the top. And now we're going to set a page break. Let's just look at this real quick. If I go to File and Print, like I'm going to print preview it, it's not fitting on here very well. So we're going to have to make some changes. We're going to turn the page sideways and do some additional things. Also, when we scroll down, we can't tell what's what. Like, I don't know what these things stand for up here. So we're going to deal with that as well. So let me back up. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is insert a page break to start a new page at row 27. So that row that says nursery, I'm just going to click right there on nursery. Go to page layout for all this stuff, and then breaks. And I'm going to insert a page break. So that now, after the ICU stuff, it's automatically going to go to the next page for nursery. Okay, next, I'm going to set the page orientation to landscape. We've done that before. Same spot. Next, we're going to change the page margins to narrow. Now, if I go back to print preview now, this is looking better. Now, this fits better. This all fits on here. If I go to the next page, you know, nursery is the first one, but I still can't see what all these headings are. So we're going to deal with that next. The next instruction is to set row 3 as print titles. Now again, this is all still going to be on this page layout tab. There's a thing that says print titles. You're going to click on that. And then it says under print titles, rows to repeat at the top. And so I'm going to click this arrow thing that's off to the right. And then I have to go pick a row. Well, we want to repeat this row 3 because it tells us what all the stuff stands for. So we're just going to click on the 3. Okay, and notice it puts marching ants around all of that, and it puts $3:3, $3, and then I'm just going to come over here and hit the button. And it puts that $3 thing into the rows to repeat. And then I could go ahead and press OK. But before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and do the next step. The next step is to create a custom header and footer. That's in this same box. Now, I'm going to go ahead and hit OK for just a minute, because otherwise you might not know how to get to that box. But it's this pull-out menu right here, the page setup. Okay, now I'm back in here, header, footer. So we're going to do a footer first. We'll click on Custom Footer, and it pops up, and there's these fancy little things. These are little codes. So on the left-hand side, they say put a page number code. That's this one that says number. Insert page number, and it puts this little thing, ampersand page. That's a code, so don't mess with it. And then it says in the center, so the center section, we're going to put the sheet name. That's this one, sheet name. So it's automatically going to put like code pricing list up there. Okay, I'm going to hit OK, and you can see a preview of this. There's number 1, and there's code pricing list. Then we're going to do a custom header. So click at the top one. And all we're going to do is in the middle section, in the center section, you're just going to type in your name into the center box. Go ahead and hit OK, and hit OK again. And now we've got it all set. So now let's go back to print preview and take a peek at it. By the way, we can also get to print preview from in that page setup box. So there's a print preview right here. I'm going to click it. Here we go. So it looks good. I got my name at the top. We got code pricing list. We got the 1. We can see all of our stuff. Now down here, we're on page 1 of 34. Let's click into that box and type 19 and press tab. And that's going to take us to page 19. And this is the one that I'm going to screen check for you. So I can see that your titles are at the top. I can see your name. I can see that you have all the proper things in the boxes. I can see your conditional formatting. All that good stuff is in there. And that's pretty much it. You're going to get a screen check of this, and then you're going to go back and show me the rest of your tabs just so I can see that you did everything, pressing Control and the little squiggle to make sure that we have the formulas in there. Now, a couple things that were not covered in this that you might need to know. You can add a background right here. So like if you have a picture, you can click here. If you've got a picture saved, you can go grab that picture. Like this isn't a very good example, but I can grab this connect slide and hit insert and it puts it on there. Kind of a bit much. The button changes and you can just delete it the same way. So pretty simple there. They do have some stuff in the instructions where you're going to have to add borders and shading. And we've done that before. Remember your little paint bucket is how you add borders. So if you have to add like a background color somewhere, select it and use your paint bucket to add the color in the right place. So that's one other thing that they're going to do. And then just don't forget, there are also lots of number formats up in here. Time, percentage, fraction, and you can always go to more to access additional ones. There's even like text, custom. If you look on custom, you'll see all kinds of funky looking things in here. Okay. So lots of different ones in here. There's special, which is like phone numbers, social security numbers, zip codes, that kind of stuff too. So I'm going to hit cancel. That's pretty much it. So make sure you save this, get your screen check, and hopefully you understand all of this pretty easy stuff in Excel too.